Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm going to be joined by my wife, Ariana, and we're going to be discussing the true cost and challenges of having kids.
We're also going to be discussing the greatest benefits and upsides to having children of your own.
To break it down, we're going to be discussing the cost to deliver a baby, the average cost per month of feeding an infant, and then the supplies that go along with it, like diapers, wipes, clothing, and such.
We're also going to kind of break it down and tell you the cost change in between having an infant and going into their toddler years.
Now, we have two kids of our own that are almost 3 and 1 years old.
And we are just 19 weeks into our third and last pregnancy in just 3 years. Yes, I know what you're thinking. We're a little crazy. But before we begin, just hit that like button if you love children just like we do.
So recently I came upon some articles that listed the average cost to have a baby in the US. And it got me thinking, how does my average cost compare to the average cost in America? First off, the average cost to deliver in the US stands at $4,300 according to national surveys. So Ariana, what did you get quoted when you went in for your first appointment for the labor and delivery cost of our new pregnancy?
So with our first two, we actually had military insurance through the Army. So we were only quoted a few $100s, but this time having regular insurance, it was actually quoted at around $7,000. Now that is for a C-section, so it's a little bit different if you have a natural birth, that's about $5,000. But the C-section costs a little bit more just because of additional anesthesia costs and the surgical costs as well.
These numbers really caught me by surprise because I was spoiled while in the military. Now, these numbers also vary state to state. We're in South Carolina, but on average, your cost for having a baby is going to be one of your highest expenses on average. Now, make sure you have insurance because the out-of-pocket expense can exceed $10,000. The USDA also reported that parents can spend over $13,000 in their infant's first year of life.
But to put your mind at ease, that does also include labor and delivery.
So how did our costs compare to the average?
We had to break it down by type of supply. First, on average, I would change our newborn's diaper around 10 times a day, and a large box of diapers holds around 200 diapers and costs between $23 and $52. Now, we buy generic brand over Huggies brand, so that kept our costs a little lower, keeping it around $23 a box. So we would use about a box and a half a month, and that cost us around $35. So this is typically the trend between newborn into their 4 to 6 months, and then after that, it drops from about 10 diapers a day to about 5 diapers a day until they're potty trained. So just to recap, if you stick to the generic brands, it'll cost you about $35 a month for the first 6 months. And then after that, it drops to about $20 a month until they're potty trained.
The second supply is baby wipes. This cost is very minimal, so I'll just give you the average price. So for any baby under 6 months, they're going to use about 2 packs a month at $3.50. Any baby over that is usually going to use 1 pack a month at $1.75. But just remember that every child you add to the equation under 3 years old, the cost of both diapers and baby wipes can double or triple, like our case.
The final and biggest supply expense is baby food and formula. Now, I wasn't blessed with the genetics to be able to breastfeed our children after the first 4 months. So if you have this blessing, then congratulations. This will not apply to you. Formula is getting more and more expensive every year, and this can have a real big impact on your family's budget. Now, we had 2 different scenarios for our children with formula. Our firstborn had milk protein allergies and acid reflux. Lucky us. So we had to feed him the hypoallergenic formula, which costs around $45 a can. Newborns to 6 months old eat around 8 to 12 times a day, so the smaller hypoallergenic cans only last about a week. So that made our monthly formula expense roughly $200. Thankfully, our second born didn't have any allergies, so we were able to buy the generic formula, which costs around $20 a can. Now these cans are more than double in size of the hypoallergenic cans. So we went through about 2 cans a month, which cost us only $40 a month. Thank goodness. In addition to formula is baby food. So around 4 months old, you start introducing baby food. Now with our firstborn, we had to do more baby food for longer just because of his acid reflux issue. So with him, we spent maybe $50 a month on baby food until he turned 1. Now with our second child, we didn't have to buy much baby food because at 6 months old, we were luckily able to introduce more solid foods. So I would say we roughly spent maybe $10 a month from ages 4 months to 6 months.
I agree. The final baby expense is furniture, toys, and clothing. Now, the biggest benefit to this is that you can pass down all three of these to each individual kid, especially if they're the same gender.
Which luckily for us, we had 2 boys, so we were able to share things. But with this next one, we're not really sure yet.
We spent roughly $1,500 outfitting our first baby room. Now, we did buy some special decor that we tried to keep within budget, but we were only spending $200 on our second child because we basically took our first child's room, turned it into the new baby room, and just made a separate toddler room for our first child. I recommend budgeting $1,000 for your baby room, and that accounts for things like your crib, your changing table, nightstands, any clothing or decor you like in there as well.
But the good thing is you have baby showers. So try to crowdfund some of these miscellaneous baby items like clothing, bedding, diaper bags, and decor that you like.
We got a lot of help from our friends and family for toys and clothing, so we've been able to keep that expense very minimal. I would say we've spent roughly $300 on toys and clothing over the past 3 years because we were able to have that kind of help from friends and family. This kind of help may not be available for everyone, so just be prepared to spend about $10 to $20 per outfit, $2 to $3 per onesie, which trust me, you'll go through these things like candy, and about $100 for bottles, sippy cups, burp cloths, and such.
Now you can be thriftier with these costs by going to secondhand baby stores. They even will sell bigger ticket items like your car seat and your stroller, if you're comfortable with that, because they can add up to about $300 for the combo of the 2 of them. Now, however you want to budget this is totally up to you, but just remember they do add up quickly.
So what was our all-in expense for our first year of having the child? Now, with the help from all of our friends and family, giving us diapers, diaper bags, clothing, toys, and having that Army insurance, which made our labor and delivery costs super cheap, our all-in expense was only $3,600 the first year. Now, if we would have been solely responsible for all the expenses without any help from friends and family, and if we had had to have regular insurance like most people have, our expenses would have been roughly $9,500.
We were very blessed to have the Army insurance as well as the help and support of all of our friends and family, which in total ended up saving us around $6,000. However, I feel while having the money to get what you need for your children is necessary, the joy of having children and the blessings that they bring to your life greatly outweighs any cost associated with having them. Hence why we're on our way to 3.
I completely agree. And I hope these numbers don't scare you away from having a kid of your own. Listen, as financially diligent as I try to be personally, I wouldn't trade fatherhood for any amount of money. So start having COVID babies today. I'm kidding. That's all we have for this video. Please like the video to thank Ariana for coming on and helping me share this with you guys. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the content. That's all we have. Bye.
Bye.